Welcome to the Boomers, Bucks, and Bling podcast, where we turn retirement planning into a bit of a thrill ride. I'm your host, Carl Spiteri, and each week we'll dive into everything from reverse mortgages and staying put in style to Medicare, Social Security, and home safety. But wait, there's more. We're not just going to talk all about money and business. We're going to add some sparkle, some bling, as we chat with travel pros, party planners, and a lot of different topics that's going to help you make the most of your golden years. So grab a cup of tea or whatever it is you want to drink, get comfy, and let's make retirement planning an adventure of a lifetime. Hello and welcome to this edition of Boomers, Bucks, and Bling. Today we have Tammy Rydahl, who has a kind of a unique business, I think, where she helps us get organized. Imagine that. So Tammy, why don't you introduce yourself, tell us a little about what you do, and we'll get started.
Okay, thank you, Carl. Thanks for having me on here today.
Our pleasure.
Yes, so I'm Tammy Rydahl. My business name is Simple Organization, and I get people organized. And so I feel like I work with a lot of messy people and turn them around.
Okay. Messy people. So if I'm not messy, I just got a lot of stuff. You still work with me?
If you just got a lot of stuff, are you organized?
No.
You have a lot of stuff organized?
Well, I've lived in the same house for 20 years.
Okay.
And, raised a family there and that kind of thing. So there's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, I get it. If you've lived in a house for a long time, you accumulate more things than you even know you have. Mm-hmm. And I work with a lot of people like this. For those people, we literally go through every single thing that they have, space by space.
Wow. So you go through it and I'm sitting there kicking and screaming, go, well, that's little Jimmy's first baby booty or train set. I can't get rid of that. And how do you talk me off the cliff?
Hey, you can keep anything you want. I don't ever tell my clients they need to get rid of anything or that they need to throw something away. And I totally understand. Some things are sentimental. We all have sentimental things. And so I'll never be one to say, get rid of something sentimental, because I get it. Those things we keep for our kids, those things we keep for ourselves. And I don't know if your kids are anything like my kids, but the kids these days do not want any of the stuff we've kept for them all these years. So I have all the stuff in my garage, each one has a trunk and nobody wants their trunk. They just don't even, they're not interested. They don't want our stuff. So I always feel, as far as memorabilia goes, you're always going to have some of that, and that's going to follow you from house to house.
Okay. So there's the garage. Let's take a typical garage that was once upon a time was built to put a car in. And garages don't really, a lot of them become ADUs in this world. We know that, but the ones that are still storage facilities, what do we do there? Because there's stuff in the garage that, man, that's amazing. So how do you tackle something like that?
You know what? A garage, any space that I organize, I tackle the same way. And I know it sounds daunting, but I literally take everything out. I take everything out and I literally go through it all with the client. So how much time does something like that take? It just depends on how much stuff someone has in their garage. But I've gone through with people who've lived in the same house for 25 years and they have so many things buried in there that they probably haven't gotten out in 25 years that they obviously don't need and they don't even realize that they still have. So my goal is always to find those things. It's to get things out of the space that haven't been moved or touched for several years.
So what do you do with the stuff? So do you correct like two piles, the keep pile and a get rid of pile?
I always say I create almost like a yard sale for my clients. So I create aisles of things that I will sort. So for instance, here's camping, here's sports, all your different categories that you may have in your garage. I create aisles and just sort everything. Then I have my clients come out and I have them walk down the aisles, look at, okay, this is camping. And A, do you even camp anymore? Are you using this stuff?
Yeah.
Or B, do you still camp and use it all? Or do you want to donate it to your son who's now camping? Stuff like that. And it is. It's whether do you want to sell it? Do you want to donate it? Do you want to keep it? Those are kind of the categories that we go with. And you'd be surprised. Once I have everything out and visible for someone to see, people kind of whip right through it. And they often laugh about the things that we find in their garages and
I'm
think,
sure.
oh my gosh, I've had this since I was 25 and I haven't used it since then, you know? So it's a day of memories in and of itself.
Yeah, it's almost like you're losing part of your life, right? When you're giving up on this stuff.
I mean, I don't look at it that way at all because I think there comes a time where everybody needs to downsize, and downsize feels so good. It's such a good feeling that you do. Um, After all is said and done, you feel like a weight has been lifted off from your shoulders. Living with less is really not sad. It's really freeing. But a lot of people don't really understand that until they get through the process.
So describe that feeling if you can.
The feeling of loss that you spoke of?
No, well, the feeling of accomplishment, I guess, when you do get rid of some of the stuff, or
Yeah. I think it's a physical feeling of lightness that you are like, okay, I know where all of my things are. I know what resides in my home. I know what I have. And I don't think that you will dwell on the feeling of loss of things. I think you will be more focused on the future and feel good about how you're going into the future, organized with less stuff.
Mhm. So as a financial guy, we talk about people a lot. We bring we do a lot of reverse mortgage stuff, and
Yes.
a lot of times we've always said downsizing was kind of the term that we used.
Mhm.
I kind of talk more about right sizing, right? Because we have multiple
Sure.
generational families moving in together. We have all kinds of different things, but I think in all cases it takes a thinning of stuff.
I
I
agree.
think it's pretty important. Is it better to thin what at the home you're in, or pack it all up and see what fits in the home you're going to?
I think before you move, because my feeling on this is one of why move things that you're not going to use? So I think it's really important to prepare ahead of time in the home that you're in and going through things and donating things and doing the purge, so to speak, before you actually move, because it'll also make that move so much easier.
Yeah, I
And
would imagine packing the home is kind of an overwhelming feeling. I can't even imagine having to go start packing my house up to move,
right.
and and the less you have, probably the less overwhelming it becomes, right?
Right. And then it becomes a whole another job for you if you move it to the new house and then decide what you're going to keep and not keep. That's a whole nother task, that's a whole nother project that you have to do. And I think it's just best all the way around to get that done early on.
Okay.
I
So
think one
speaking
of
of,
the first things, actually.
I'm sorry.
I think that should be one of the first things, the purge.
Hmm. So speaking of time and that kind of thing. So say I have a, I don't know, 2,500 square foot home right in the
Hmm.
middle of suburbia somewhere,
Hmm.
and lived there for 20, 25 years, and it's the typical house. It has accumulation.
Hmm.
How, and I hire you today. How much time do you need going into this to kind of get it all organized and downsized?
Well, it depends. It depends. It's very individual because what one person says is, I don't have very much, and what another person says is, I don't have very much, are very different because some
Right.
people think they don't have much. And to me, they have a lot.
Hmm.
So it just depends. I always have to get my eyes on a job. I always need to see what the house is like. And so I'm always on site and getting my eye on everything before I determine how many days. So I would say though, like in general, and somebody who's been in a home for a long time, and I'm just talking about the purge, like going through each
Yeah,
room and pulling things out. I would probably need 2 to 3 days.
that's all.
Yeah, it won't take me long because the other part about hiring someone to do this job, someone else's stuff I'm not emotionally attached to. So for me, this is my job, and I'm going to go in and move things very quickly and get everything out very quickly. I won't be pausing to look at photos or pausing to look at memorabilia because it's not my stuff, and it makes a huge difference. Now, if I'm doing this at my own house, completely different story.
Yeah, yeah. So do you take a team in, or is it just you? I mean, you don't seem like you're the big brute that's going to be moving furniture down
I am.
stairwells.
It depends. It depends on exactly what they want me to do. Obviously, if furniture moving is involved and stuff like that, then I definitely bring men in that can help me. It depends on the size of the home. If the home is very large, then I will bring a team of people with me. Often I do most of my jobs on my own, and often I'm working one-on-one with the homeowners, and most people prefer that. So it just
Hmm.
depends. Every job's a little different.
Do you ever get a spouse situation where they're arguing amongst themselves on the
All the
keeping the
time.
recliner? Yeah.
All the time. Husbands and wives don't often agree on a lot when it comes to organization.
So caution, if you're
Yes,
married,
yes.
prepare for some arguments, huh?
I just had a homeowner say to me the other day, we were talking about a remodel that they were doing, and he goes, I don't know, let's just get this done and save my marriage, please, you know.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Remodels are stressful, I will tell you.
It's a
I've lived
lot.
through
It
one.
is stressful.
Yeah. All right. Well, what else? What else do you do that you can help people? So I don't know. Create a system for me. So now I've downsized. I got a
Hmm.
bunch of stuff. How do I keep it somewhat together without collecting a whole bunch more stuff?
You mean after you're moving?
Yeah.
After you move, that's the biggest challenge right there is I just went through this with my own mother. So gosh, hopefully she never watches this. But she
Well, let's
she
hope
did
she does.
she did just this. She moved from a really large home, right, into our small childhood home. And we went through the purge. She sold a lot of things. She donated a lot of things. I mean, she got rid of significant amount of things and then moved into a smaller space. And she just can't accept that, you can't just fill it up. And I had to have the conversation, and it was an honest, hard truth conversation with her that, you did such a good job getting rid of things and purging things, but you're accumulating again. And someday somebody is going to have to go and do the purge again if you keep accumulating. I just had a real honest conversation with her, and she's very quick to be like, I know, I know. So hopefully I'm nipping that in the butt, but we'll see. It is a challenge because you can't go and buy like you once did, but I do feel like as we age, as we downsize, the feeling of having less and living this more simplified life feels so good to most people that I don't think that it's a problem. I think that they're just fine with less.
So the baby boomer that has their grandmother's old china,
Yeah.
right? And the kids don't want it, and you're convincing them, let's get rid of it, or you're not convincing them, but because you don't do that, but it
I mean,
basically there's
not
memories there, right?
necessarily, because there are things for sure that people like grandma's china, and if her kids don't want it, they probably don't want to get rid of that. And that might be, I mean, there will be things in a home,
Hmm.
at the end of the day that have to be sold with the home one day or whatever. But so there, I no, not necessarily. When it comes to memories and sentimental items, um, I'm very much aware of that, and very, I have a lot of empathy for those people for, wanting to hold on to those things.
Yeah. So you don't really help them make the choice, or trying to convince them that you
I
don't
mean,
really need every finger painting that your kid did
mm,
from
now
preschool to fifth grade.
with stuff like that, I really try to help. So it just depends on what it is, I guess, Carl, because with stuff like that, I do say, look, your kids are not going to care about this. Trust me, my kids are all adults. They do not care. And if they're still like, I can't part with it, there's a lot of things nowadays that you can do that are pretty cool. Like you can take pictures of old artwork. Like it was hard for me to get rid of all those ceramic things the kids
Hmm.
make and stuff, but then they get broken over time after a move or what have you, or get buried and stuff. And one day I just said, why am I keeping this? And I took pictures of everything. So there's options. I try to give people options, and you can still have this memory and you don't necessarily have to hold on to it.
That's a real good idea, actually, is
Yeah.
taking
Take
pictures of
a
the pictures and
picture.
pictures of the stuff.
I mean,
Yeah.
there are even companies now that will bind in a book your kids' old art. So if you really want that for your child when they're an adult, you can do that. I'm guaranteeing they're not going to want it, but you can do that. Maybe their kids would think it's cool. I don't know,
Yeah.
Maybe grandma keeps it and shows their kids. I don't know, but
Yeah. Have you ever had where, and again, you probably don't get the after calls, but have you ever had where the parents have chosen to get rid of some of the kids' stuff, old toys or whatever, and because the kids said they didn't want it, and then 5 years later, 10 years later, they go, oh, I wish we would have kept that, or they don't
no.
really care.
I've never heard that. Same thing with women with clothing. I feel like once anybody really gets rid of anything, you kind of forget. It's almost automatic. You almost automatically forget that you even had it.
Hmm.
And oftentimes I will even say to people, like, if we're talking about an item that costs $20 and you're squabbling whether or not you should keep it, get rid of it.
Yeah.
Because when it comes right down to it, if you really want it, you'll get another one. And a lot of people do this. I mean, I feel like I save people money all the time because people will have in their garages, you know, 10 life jackets. I'm just making it up, whatever.
Sure.
They'll have an exorbitant amount of something. And they go, well, I don't really need all these, but I have all of these because I couldn't find it when I needed it. And so that goes for tools or all kinds of different things. People have a lot of the same things inside their house, outside their house, in their garage, because we tend to buy things instead of find things.
Yeah. It's easier
It
because you
is.
have so much stuff that you have to
It
go through
is.
to find
It
what you
is
need, right?
sometimes. And it's the same thing, it's the same thing in a pantry. I'll go through a pantry and I'll be like, did you know you have 3 Costco peanut butters? And they'll be like, nope, I sure didn't know. I just keep buying it because it gets buried in there and I don't realize they even have it.
It's
And
money down the drain.
it
Yeah. That's
is. It is. And I can't even tell you how many times I've done offices and found money. I mean, all the time. I'm like, this is a stack of checks. These are gift cards all the time. I'm finding gift cards and things like that people don't even know they have.
I can't believe you just go through everything
I
and you
literally
actually
go
can.
through it all.
Wow, that is amazing. Just
It is.
amazing.
It's so freeing for these people. People literally love it. And I think it's one of the things with the professional organizing now that has become, literally a thing. Before, people would tidy, I feel like, in sort of semi-organized spaces. But the whole concept of like emptying out a space and starting from scratch, it's such a good one because you really see what's in there. And a
Yeah.
lot of times it's a lot of things that can go straight in the trash.
Yeah. And do you hire a service like a big dumpster to come to all the stuff in, or
If the job is big enough, yes. It
and if
depends
it's
on,
smaller, it's pickup truck, or
yeah,
you call
mhm,
Goodwill or somebody, they
yeah,
come pick it up.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, Tammy, I know you're on a tight time schedule today, and I bribed you to, I paid you big money to come on the show and talk. So why don't you tell our audience how to get a hold of you? Because you definitely provide a very valuable service. I may be calling you myself. So
Well, thanks. I sure love what I do. It's so helpful to so many people.
yeah.
Um, you can reach me probably the best way to actually like go and see my work. I have a website which is simpleorganization.co, but the best way if you're on Instagram is I have an Instagram page that is at Simple Organization. And that's the best way to see my work because I post on there all the time, every day, and you can kind of get a feel for what I do. It's a little bit more I think it's a little bit better than just organizing. I come from a world of interior design. I did interior design before this, so my stuff is really pretty and it looks nice. It's not just organizing. So yeah, they can check me out
Okay.
on Instagram.
Do you have a phone number? Just because
I
some people
do.
don't do
Yes.
Instagram.
Yes. My phone number is 858-353-1590.
One more time.
858-353-1590
And your website once again?
is simpleorganization.co.
.co.
Yes.
Tammy, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you soon.
Great. Thank you, Carl. It was a pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.